Earlier this year, Mexican billionaire Carlos Slim, who is usually up there swapping places with Bill Gates as either the world's first or second richest person, also donated to Khan Academy to help expand its library of Spanish videos and full Spanish website. Khan Academy has more than 12,000 dubbed lessons in 28 languages, including Chinese, and also 21,000 lessons that have been subtitled by volunteers through crowdsourced labor. By many calculations, Sal is now the most popular online instructor in the world. I sat down with him and began by asking why so many people like his videos.
My gut tells me that a lot of it comes from the fact that it was me doing it for my cousins, that it didn't feel like this really hyper-produced, polished thing that comes from a billion-dollar company. It felt like, hey, there's just some guy there, and he's just kind of working with folks, and it feels like he's my neighbor.
Did you ever think about putting yourself in the video? Because right now we never see you.
Yeah, well, I think from anyone watching this video, you could see that it would not be a good move to put my face in it. It would be a very disturbing.
Don't be hard on yourself.
Who is that guy with the big eyebrows? And the feedback has been that people really like the fact that it's not someone at a whiteboard who's 10 feet away from the camera, kind of projecting and saying, okay, the next step in the equation is X, Y, Z. Instead, it's someone, it kind of feels like we're looking at the same piece of paper together, we're sitting next to each other at the kitchen table and just walking through a problem.
But be honest with us, do you ever get stumped by some of these problems?
Oh yeah, all the time. Well, I won't say all the time. I mean, obviously if I'm working on more basic stuff, there isn't a lot of stumping. But there's some pretty fancy stuff on Khan Academy. And there's definitely been topics where these are topics that I learned in school, but now that I want to explain it, I want to explain it at a deeper level. And I do get stumped. I was like, well, why is this actually the case? And how can I actually make it clear to people why this makes sense?
Bill Gates made the statement that he uses your videos to teach his family. What was your reaction?
It was surreal, and I was incredibly excited, but it also made me a little nervous. Bill Gates' chief of staff called and said that, you might have heard Bill's a fan, and I was like, yeah, I heard that. And we'd love to fly you up to Seattle and find out how we could work together if you're free in the near future. And I was looking at my calendar for the month at the moment, completely blank. I said, yeah, sure, I think I could fly up next week and meet Bill Gates, and I have to cut my nails and do some laundry, but
Some educators from Michigan posted a video criticizing your online lessons for inconsistencies. Did you agree with any of it, or did you think it was unfair?
No, I think this is what's beautiful about the internet is, if I was a teacher in kind of a one-off classroom, and it's very hard for me to get direct feedback about what's working, what's not working. What's great about this is whatever we do out there is immediately seen literally in the next day by thousands, if not tens of thousands of people. Over the course of a year, it'd be millions of people. And so what it really does is pressure test a lot of the content. So whenever we get any criticism, we take a serious look at it. We say, is there something really constructive here? Can we make it better?
Many people call your method flipping the classroom. Is this a fair assessment?
So homework in the classroom and lecture now at home. And so that's the flip that goes on. Now all of a sudden, lectures at your own time, at your own pace. And the most important part of the learning process, the problem solving, can happen in an environment where you actually have people who can help you, both your peers and the teacher, and help motivate you.
Would you be able to say that under your system, teachers wouldn't lose their jobs because of your setup?
Everything that we talk about is the importance of a physical classroom and having a professional teacher in the room. If you imagine education as a spectrum of things, that here is kind of your core skills, and as you go further and further to the right, you have kind of the meta skills, the creativity, the ability to take ownership over your own knowledge. If Khan Academy can start to handle some of these things, then that frees up the teacher to focus on, in our minds, these higher order things, these more valuable things.
Or you've been quoted as saying you will never put a price tag on what you do. Are you shooting yourself in the foot by not being able to expand faster if you get more money?
It's a good question. There's a Harvard Business School case on whether Khan Academy should be a not-for-profit or not. Because in a lot of ways, it's a strange animal. We're in the middle of Silicon Valley, where we run this tech thing. We're building all this software. We're making all this content. But in our minds, it was kind of a decision around, well, wouldn't it be great if this could be more than a startup? But with that said, the fears are, as you point out, will we be able to attract the talent? Will we be able to attract the capital?
But do you stick to that never put a price tag on what you do? You sound like you're having second thoughts about which model.
No, I'll be clear. No, I mean, actually, I think on our website now it says, learn anything for free, forever.
Are you able to make a better living than as a hedge fund analyst?
I make a better living in that I'm happier. No, in all seriousness, I liked my old job, and it paid very well. I think kind of the trade-off is it has been a good one for me coming to Khan Academy. You know, the income, obviously this is a not-for-profit. I'm not going to become a millionaire working at Khan Academy. I'm able to pursue, you know, my life's passion, and I hope everyone else in the team here gets to pursue their passion, feel like they're impacting people. You know, I used to give talks and say, maybe one day this will be used in Mongolia, and we got a letter from Mongolia, an email, and it had a YouTube link. I looked at the YouTube video. It was this young girl, 15-year-old, a Mongolian girl named Zaya, and it turns out that Zaya was one of the orphans at one of those orphanages. And that by itself was pretty mind-blowing, but what's been made it even more exciting is that she is now one of our actually our #1 creator of content in the Mongolian language. And then, you know, the fact that we're getting many of these coming in on a daily basis, you know, if I really put myself in the frame of mind of Sal operating out of a walk-in closet in 2007, 2008, it's hard to believe. But, you know, with that said, you know, I tell this to the team all the time, it's now that it's happening, we have a lot of work to do.
Another area Khan Academy says it has an advantage in is providing real-time data. They're striving for a more personalized service where students can work at their own level because the data can pinpoint where one is having trouble and what one needs to work on. Khan Academy also hopes technology can minimize the time teachers have to use to grade homework and give the same lecture over and over. Karina.
Now, Mark, you mentioned that the videos are in 28 different languages. So how are they being used in traditional educational systems worldwide?
Well, Khan Academy videos are being used in about 43,000 classrooms globally. There are no numbers at the moment measuring the overall efficacy, though SRI, which used to be the Stanford Research Institute, is currently studying that issue and will hopefully have that data sometime next year. Sal's more focused on looking at the schools that are using Khan Academy videos and finding out in which areas it works best and then taking some of those practices and disseminating it to other schools. For him, the evidence that it's working right now is in the success stories he hears on almost a daily basis. And if you look at Oakland Unity, the school I profile, it is quite a remarkable achievement, going from scores in the 20th percentile to the 99th percentile, a low-income area that is outperforming some of the richest neighborhoods in the state. Karina.